Paul Johanse Ayodike joins me as we get into our Mental Health Matters Thursday, and a very important conversation, and more so an important question. Johanse is asking, who are you? That's the question this morning. Johanse, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning to everybody viewing and listening.
Who are you, Johanse?
Now, that question came about when I was speaking to a brethren of mine for International Men's Day. And he was saying that, everybody telling him and men in general who they should be and what they should do and how they should act. And then we asked the question, who are we really, right? Is it our name? Is it the roles we play, as in a son, a husband, father, teacher? And I say that word, the role we play, because sometimes the things that we do in that specific role doesn't necessarily align with who we really want to be.
You touch on such an important point, because sometimes people will call their profession or the vocation, and that will take prominence. But really and truly, that is just what you do. The question is, who are you? We're talking about peeling back the layers to see what's at the core, I would imagine. That's what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
That's a kind of tough one. I wouldn't say it's a simple question. It's a question that is very profound, Johanse, and a lot of people live their lives, go into a nice mature age and never truly understanding who they really are, not knowing really and truly. I mean, that's a real serious question you're asking this morning.
That's the thing, even for myself, I've been asking myself, who am I really, right? And sometimes the process that I use is to start, and we often speak about this, to tell the truth. And not even tell the truth to people yet. Tell the truth to yourself. What it is I really want to do. What it is I really like doing. What are my preferences? Because in any scenario, when you are faced with choices, you really know what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
But as a son, as a daughter, as a husband, as a wife, as a teacher, as a whatever profession is, are not supposed to or shouldn't. But you really know what you want to do.
I've heard this talk coming up a while, and probably you could elaborate a concept called the imposter syndrome. Is that something people go through when they're asking themselves about, that age-old question, who am I? Who?
Yes, because imposter syndrome could come from two angles. Sometimes you know you're good at something, right? But you're still questioning whether you're good at it or not. So like yourself, you could go on a stage and you could entertain a crowd. You know that. But then you're still wondering, even after, I really do a good job, boy? So you're wondering then if he's an imposter. And then it could come from the next angle. You know this is not who you really are, but you're playing a role, and you're playing the role, and it is a character, and just to show that you could do it. So it is a good question, and all of us have to even wonder, who are we? Are we playing something, or are we telling the truth? And I'm going back to telling the truth to yourself first. And it don't even have to be about something serious yet. It could be something simple. Is this what I really want to eat?
Wow. How do we even start to analyze and to tackle that question? Is it you have to physically look at yourself in the mirror, have conversations with yourself, bring it up in prayer? What's your advice on starting that to try to answer this age-old question?
I'm glad you said look yourself in the mirror, because when we look ourselves in the mirror, what we see is the truth, right? Yes, you might see a physical outline of who you are, but you see your insecurities. You see the things you need to change. Sometimes you even see that character you're pretending to be that you know you're really not. So looking yourself in the mirror, let's say a physical activity, look yourself in the mirror and analyze what it is I really seeing, and then think about who you really want to be.
So I'm going to put an interesting twist in the conversation now. People who operate with no guardrails, who have no filter, who they just, what you see is what you get. They're hardcore, they're raw. They do business, they have no respect for time, place, they have no agenda. I guess they've come to terms with themselves. That what you're seeing is the authentic, real person. I guess they understand that, hey, I'm a kind of do business person, and take me or leave me.
Not necessarily, because that could be a character also.
You really feel some people have a character?
Yeah,
like
some
that?
people have a character, have a big bravado, right? Some people is play mad, some people is play crazy, play aggressive, and then that's not who they really are, because even sometimes you develop a persona because you think that is what is necessary to get whatever you want in life.
So that could actually be a persona, you're saying?
Yes, correct. And I've seen it. I mean, professionally, I've seen it, and that's why each person should analyze who they really are, because some people, I feel, you're aggressive and you do bravado, and then afterwards you come and say, that is not who I really want to be, you know. But that is the only way I just get results. That is the only way I just get respect. That is the only way I just get things done. But I don't want to be that way.
Interesting. Because you know, we live in a time in where you find more and more people, you know, operating under that particular circumstance and getting through, you know, being able to go over the line. Interesting development there. So when we're asking that question, you know, to self, who am I? You know, you're trying to analyze. If you're getting different responses, is it okay? Is it normal to have a couple different answers to that? Because we are different people in different circumstances. You might be a different way with friends, a different way with family, a different way in the workplace, a different way when you party, a different way when you travel. Is it okay to sometimes have dimensions to your personality? I
would say yes at first, but it's to make sure there's no dissonance or conflict between all the different roles. And this is where your mental health comes in, because sometimes let's say two roles you play opposing to each other. So let's just say you are a reserved person naturally, but you have to play a role of somebody with a big bravado. Or let's just say you discover the truth about something in your job, right? And because of it's not in alignment with who you are. Now you have to pretend you are somebody else because now you have new information. You find out something about your spouse and it's not in alignment with who you are. Now you may have to pretend to be something you're not. So now you're playing a role that is in conflict. So asking yourself that question, again, different answers good, but understand if they're in conflict or not. I guess that's why some people, when they, as we say in local terms, jump out themselves, you see a totally different personality. So the person is one way in the workplace or at home, and then they do something that is so bizarre, you wonder, well, how this person was able to do that? But in a way, it's always been inside them. Well, that particular action. It could always be inside them, or that's how a dark side can be created, you know. Because if you are who you are, you know you are this person, but you're pretending in another scenario. After a while, you start to build up resentment. You start to build up dissonance. You start to build up anger. You're creating a dark side there because you're pretending to be something you're not. So after a while, you just can't take it no more. So you explode, you jump out yourself, you have a midlife crisis, you have whatever, you're going off, you get off, all the terms you could use, you go crazy, but it's after you create that dark side because it was in opposition with who you are. Let's have the final word on this most interesting topic you want to say. It's all yours. People, ask yourself who you are. And if it is not in alignment with who you're pretending to be, then you will complicate your life. Don't make it too difficult, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening. Who are you? Interesting. I'm a father, a son, patriot. You know, I think calm, collective. These are the kind of words I use. You know, culture man, right? A man of culture. But it may not be that in every scenario. True. Well, yeah, patriot for sure. I try to always think of country first, you know. In most things I do within the local space, and even abroad, even more so sometimes when you're away, you know, you hold strong. But I've been thinking this morning, I'm going to take some notes and put down my response to this very important question. You want to say sincere thanks? Great one today inside the Mental Health Matters. We want to transition across to some friends at the UN. We're going to give you the details concerning the UNDP We Ting Caravan. They're heading to the community. Well, they continue because they have already gone to a couple of different areas, and we get some more details after the break.